Searching for a session law within a specific state can be tricky depending upon which state you're researching. Now, the method used for organizing session laws is not uniform across all states. So what that means is every state organizes their laws differently. They could organize them by chapter, some organize them by an act number, others organize it by the public law number. Therefore, it's important to understand how to search for a session law across a state using different search techniques. Now, this week's tip is going to focus on 4 different examples across 4 different states, and each example is going to illustrate how each state organizes their laws differently, and then how we can search those states. Now, before I begin showing you these search examples, I want to point out that if at any time in your research you have a specific citation with the year and the page number, it's real easy to pull up that specific citation for a state. So if we have a specific year and a specific page number, for example, for Arizona, we could scroll down and click on Arizona here. And you'll see right here, you insert your year and insert the page number and click search, and it'll take you right to that specific page. We also have a quick search tool at the top of the state listing here that allows you just to quickly choose a state from the drop-down, insert the year, and insert the page number, and then click search. And this will work the same way as if you were to navigate to the state and use this box here. Now, chapters and acts can start over each year in the session laws, in the published session law volumes. Therefore, it's important when you're doing this type of research to either know what year you're looking for or to have keywords associated with that session law. Those are going to really help you narrow down your search. So we're going to look at Massachusetts, Virginia, Arkansas, and Indiana for our examples today. Now, just real briefly to show you the variations and how each state organizes their session laws, and I have these already open just to make this a little quicker, but I'm going to show you Massachusetts here. You'll see chapter is abbreviated CHAP period 87, an act further regulating the reporting of certain cases of child abuse. So in Massachusetts, they use chapters, but in the actual publication, the chapters are published with that abbreviated version of chapter. Now if we look at Virginia, Virginia uses chapters, but in their publication, they actually use the full-on chapter 345. Now the reason this is important to understand is this is how you're going to enter this into your search when you start searching for those keywords. If we look at Arkansas, Arkansas's session laws are organized by Act, so Act 53 instead of chapter. In Indiana, if we look at them, they organize them by the public law number, so it's Public Law 63-2009. Now, even though they're acts, they just use a different method of organizing these laws. So again, I show you that just to illustrate that how they are organized and published in the session laws for each state really does vary. Now I'm going to close all these tabs and we're going to go back to the main page of the session laws. Now our first example we're going to look at is Massachusetts. So we want to look at how to search for a specific act across the state of Massachusetts session laws. So we're going to click on our search tab in the upper left hand corner and click field search. Now from our field search option here, we're going to insert our chapter number, and we know it's chapter 87, which was again an act further regulating the reporting of certain cases of child abuse, and it was from 1984. Now, in this first example, what we're going to look at is, let's say we don't know the year. We don't know it was in 1984. We can use proximity searching to narrow the chapter by keywords. So what do I mean by that? We're going to insert the chapter, so CHAP period 87, and we're going to pick out a couple of keywords from the name of the act. So we know it was related to child abuse. So we're going to put all those key terms within one set of quotations and search within a proximity of 15. Now from our title listing here, we're going to highlight Massachusetts, and we're assuming we don't know what year the act was published in, so we're going to leave that blank and click search. This is going to bring us one result here from the 1984 volume, and if we click View Matching Text Pages, it's going to link us right to page 82, which is where the specific act appears. So again, if you don't know the specific year it was published in, you can use that proximity searching to add keywords to your chapter number or your act number and search for those within a specific proximity. Now it's important always when you're using the field search option in the Session Laws library to select the specific state that you want to search across. Now if we go back to our field search option, if we know the year, then what we could do is just simply insert the chapter number. So CHAP period 87, close our quote, highlight Massachusetts from our title listing, and in the date box we're going to actually insert our date, which is 1984 to 1984, and click search. Again, gives us one result, and it's going to link us right to page 82. So that's an example using Massachusetts. Now let's look at how to search for an act across the Virginia Session Laws. Now, as we looked at earlier, the Virginia Session Laws are organized by chapter, but versus using the abbreviated version of chapter, when they publish the bound volumes, they actually spell it out, chapter 345. So we're going to do a new search here. Now we're going to search for Chapter 345 across the Virginia Session Laws. And Chapter 345 is an act to amend and reenact 24.2-706 of the Code of Virginia relating to elections, absentee voting, response to applications. And this law was published in 2009. Now, as we did in the previous example, if you don't know the year, you can use proximity searching to narrow down your results using those keywords. Now, in this example, we're going to use the full version of chapter because that's how it's published in the Session Laws. So we're going to do Chapter 345. Now, I'm going to do a proximity search here looking for that section number, that 24.2-706. I'm going to put all of that in a single set of quotations and search for those within a proximity of 20 of each other. I'm going to highlight Virginia from my title listing, and then I'm going to click search. It's going to bring us one result here. If we click View Matching Text Pages, you'll see it's going to link us right to page 573 where the act begins in the Virginia Session Laws. Now if we go back to our search, what we could do here is if we didn't have the keywords, we could do the chapter, so Chapter 345. Again, search across the Virginia Session Laws, and then we could insert our year if we have our year, so 2009 to 2009, and click search. It's going to give us our single result and link us to page 573. Now our next example is Arkansas, and in Arkansas they actually organize their laws by the act number. So rather than searching for a chapter, we're going to search by the act number. And we're looking for Act 53, which is an act to permit the acceleration of income tax benefits for charitable cash contributions for relief of Indian Ocean tsunami victims and other purposes. And that law was published in 2005. So the first thing we could do is look for our act number, Act 53. And we could insert our keywords like income tax and tsunami, all within a single set of quotations, add a proximity, highlight Arkansas from our title listing. This is assuming we don't know the specific year, and we click search. Now in this case, you'll see we get 3 results. And if we look at our results, our first one is to an index from the 2005 volumes. The second is to the table of contents from the 2005 volumes. And then the last result is actually going to be the full text of these laws. So if we click View Matching Text Pages, it's going to link us to page 137, and that's where the text for Act 53 actually begins within this volume. Now if we go back to our search, now let's say we wanted to search for just Act 53. It's assuming we didn't have any keywords. So we're going to take out the proximity search here, highlight just Arkansas from our title listing, and then if we know the year, we could insert our year, so 2005 to 2005, and click search. Now this is going to give us 5 results. And here you're seeing it's giving us a result to an index. It's giving us other results from volume 2, book 2, and we can use our View Matching Text Pages to determine exactly where the act begins. Now again, for each session, the acts are going to start over at act number 1. So in this particular example, it's important to have at least a few keywords or an idea of subject-wise what it is that you're looking for. Now the last example I want to look at is Indiana, and when we looked at Indiana earlier in this demonstration, Indiana actually organizes their laws using the public law or P.L. prefix followed by the number and the year. So if we wanted to search for the public law 63-2009 across Indiana, 63-2009 is an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning public safety. So what we could do in this case is insert our PL.63-2009 in quotes, select Indiana from our title listing, and click search. And this is going to bring us 4 results. Now again, we got to interpret our results here. This is an index. These are tables. And then these, it's our first regular session and our second regular session. So using our View Matching Text Pages, you'll be able to tell as you read through here if it's a reference, or if it's discussing the public law, or if it's the beginning of the text of the public law. So if we link to page 547, you'll see an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning public safety. So that's the beginning of the text of the public law here. So again, those are 4 different examples of how you can search for a law across a specific state. If you're not sure how a state publishes their laws, you could refer to, just open up the first volume in the volume listing and refer to the first couple of pages, and that's going to give you an idea of whether they're organized by chapter, the public law number, or by act number. And again, each state is different. They're not all uniform, so it's important to take a quick look at that if you're not sure.